I have quite a long history with Roblox. Before my account, I actively played as a guest, back when those existed of course. However, recently I've noticed myself moving away from the platform. Roblox, being what it is, has seen a multitude of changes over time, and with each change it feels like the soul of the platform has dissipated. My point is that Roblox has issues, as do many things of course, but to me one stands head and shoulders above the rest. While I may not be a student of the game like my friend F4, that doesn't invalidate the fact that I've been playing for 11 years, and have seen the platform evolve, for better or for worse. However, I suppose before I really dive into this issue that Roblox faces, I need to discuss how we got here, starting from when I joined, and then eventually getting to the modern day. Maybe then you too will be able to understand what drove me and others to stop enjoying Roblox. 11 years ago, Roblox was still pretty popular, but you didn't have games like Blox Fruits or Dress to Impress. And in my opinion, the site had a lot more personality back then too. I remember a lot of people played things like Apocalypse Rising, and it was actually rather impressive to me for just how big it seemed. Alternatively, Jailbreak hadn't even come out, and that took the site by storm. Now, we still had Work at a Pizza Place or Natural Disaster Survival, don't get me wrong, there were lots of games to play back then, just most games didn't usually see 300,000 plus players. 100k was insane to people back then. I mean, Murder Mystery maybe only got 5k at a time, and that was one of the most popular games when I was playing. Obviously though, Roblox grew, and while that's not inherently an issue, that growth led to change on Roblox's end. Over time, we saw the site lose its color. It lost things like Builders Club in exchange for premium, which isn't necessarily bad as you get the same amount of Robux for less money. However, you also lose out on a lot of the unique things only Builders Club offer, like hats, gears, or even special features you get for supporting Roblox. However, most importantly, I think in relation to this issue was the removal of ticks, a currency unlike any other, as for simply logging in you would get 10 a day. Ticks could be used to buy items or to trade them in for Robux at a conversion rate of 20 ticks for 1 Robux. Ticks was something anyone could gather, which was great because it incentivized the most important thing a game can do, just simply playing. For playing Roblox, you got to customize your character given time. It took longer, but you weren't locked behind a paywall. There are some reasons ticks was removed that I could think of with the help of my friend. First was that players could farm ticks by having alt accounts join their game, which gave ticks to the dev for each join. The dev could then cash that out for Robux. It was a way for some players to get items that cost a whole bunch of Robux without spending any money. The second potential reason is what leads us to what I believe to be the main issue. By having ticks in the game, you gave players a way to get your in-site currency. Essentially, players didn't need to spend money at all in some instances, thanks to ticks. Roblox, as a site, lost money due to ticks. If you don't get it yet, I think the issue with Roblox is the fact that it's almost become too money focused, and in more ways than one. The removal of ticks was only the first wall. Builders Club was the next to fall, and alongside it, the benefits it gave, leading the way for premium to take its place. And while, as I said, in theory, it's more Robux for less or equal money, there's more to it than that. See, with Builder Clubs, you got hats, gear, access to beta features, mega places, and personal servers, as well as more. Now, the latter half of those things I named were eventually removed over time. However, my point is that Builders Club gave you more than just Robux in return for your support at every level. Hey, so I'm here in editing because I just want to run through all this stuff with you. Some of the stuff is pretty obvious. I just want to go over some of these other things that either maybe go against my point or to help kind of explain what this means. The question marks generally mean that it was changed. So, for example, for the group join limit, it is saying 100 for normal users and premium users, and obviously different for Builders Club, but it only used to be 5 for normal users, and then it got changed to 100. So you just lost that premium benefit. Another thing, selling shirts and stuff. It used to not be possible for normal users, but they just put a 10 Robux fee on it. So if you want to sell things, you can, you just have to spend 10 Robux. Which, okay, you know what, sure. The most important thing for me to talk about here that kind of goes along with my point is the developer exchange. See, the developer exchange is actually how you make money with your Robux. You actually cash them out for real money through the developer exchange, and it used to not be possible for normal users, but now you can do it. So it's not even a benefit of premium anymore. Anyone can make money. But the reason it's important, I think, is because with Builders Club, you only could do it at OBC, meaning you had to invest the $20 a month in order to be able to make money. It basically was kind of like quality control. If your game isn't good, you are losing $20 a month in order to actually make that money. So you have to actually try and make the best game you can, but now you can just make low effort slop like Among Us copies or other copies with hardly any effort put into it to make a crap ton of money. And that's, I think, part of the issue, is that there's now no sense of quality control. You don't lose as much for making a god-awful game. You can make a god-awful game that somehow strikes big or is popular because people can't spend money on the real deal because they're all kids, and boom, now you're making a whole bunch of money. With that said, let's get back to the video. Meanwhile, the main point of premium is to ensure you spend more money. You get bonus Robux from purchases like Builders Club gave. However, you get items in the marketplace only premium users can buy with the Robux. Now, you could argue that this was the point of the club back in the day as well. And while there are similar practices, and neither of them are good, if this was the point, you cannot deny that Builders Club was just better for what it gave you. I even once bought premium, and I never even knew there were premium only items. And if I wanted to get them, I would either need to buy more Robux or potentially wait a month to multiple months depending on the price just to get the Robux I need when the item might only cost 100 Robux. Meanwhile, as a club member, you get your Robux daily, so in a week you'd have the Robux at tier 1. Now, admittedly that's not a big difference, but it already allows users to get their preferred items earlier in some cases. Instead of waiting a month or being tempted to buy Robux, you just wait a week and it's yours. You know, that coupled with ticks, and it was yours sooner. That leads to another problem caused by this issue. The marketplace is now filled with low-effort cosmetics of your favorite characters in an attempt to get money from children, because children really want to dress like Gojo or Sans Undertale. I asked my good friend and co-creator of the lovable Alfonso Cornwall II, shameless self-promotion right there, he gave me some input, as he actually does black marketing. Ultimately, he said that trading items for real money isn't a primary issue, which I can really agree with. On a pie chart, it's likely the smallest piece of the pie. What stood out to me was his fourth point. Quote, "I'd like to get something from this if Roblox isn't a very fun platform to play on anymore like it used to be." End quote. To me, this is indicative of the issue with Roblox. It's just simply not as fun for a lot of people for one reason or another. And that's led some people like my friend to black marketing because they've sunk so much time into it, they might as well get something out of it. However, pretty much all of these reasons that Roblox has become unfun in recent history tie back to money. On the item side of things, I was informed that some more popular limiteds have gone up in price 2 to 3 times, which is relatively insane. There's heavy inflation in the Roblox marketplace, and obviously, you know, it's not CSGO or TF2 items, but still, it's a site for kids. Also, in regards to items, you see people selling not only funny heads, faces, or both, but also these bundles, I think they're called, that let you combine these. Not only are these items insane, like visually, but they're genuinely not too expensive in terms of Robux, and that's because the creators of these things know people will buy them at the right price. It's just one of the many ways people on Roblox try to get money out of players, especially younger kids. That's how we A, get back to premium, and B, get to why I stopped playing Roblox. To put it simply, it lost the plot. It's just not enjoyable with how much focus goes into profiting as much as possible off of Roblox games. It's to the point where there's heavy microtransactions in games just like you see in Blox Fruits. It feels like when I play something new, there's always something pushing me to spend money and Robux. I give my money to Roblox by buying Robux, and then devs get a portion of the profit from the Robux I spend, and it feels like a lot of games have gone that route. Alternatively, you might be able to grind for coins or money or whatever they want to call it, but they can make the grind so painstakingly annoying and redundant to incentivize you to pay for coins. Create a gameplay loop that can be fun to some extent, but make in-game prices so high or give such small rewards it takes hours to buy something. Again, incentivizing you to pay for coins. Frankly, most games I have played fail the gameplay loop aspect. I can play them a couple times, but there's not much spicing it up for me, like incentives to find a new way to play or master a new thing. And if there are either of those two things, sometimes the grind to get to the new way to play or new thing to master just isn't worth my time. Games I do enjoy coming back to tend to be another category of the issue. Copying already existing games that cost money. YouTube videos drop on a game like REPO, and Roblox devs go to copy it as soon as possible to try and profit from it since it's so popular. This happened at least as far back as Among Us, where it's essentially the same game with hardly any new paint, if at all, to make money from people playing them for free rather than buying the original game. I play some games that I enjoy, that are just other games I enjoy playing. For example, I've played a lot of Tower Defense Simulator specifically because I love Bloons TD6. Now there are relatively unique games that don't intend on falling under these categories. I've played a lot of Pillar Chase 2, and while I won't say it's the perfect game, and you may not even think it's the most unique game, in my experience, grinding doesn't take too long, as you can pretty easily get a lot of coins per round as a human or monster. Now, some monsters are fairly pricey, and you can still buy coins to skip the grind, as is a thing for most Roblox games, but for me, PC2 is a game where I can find a new way to play by getting a new monster, and over time work to master that monster, and by the time I have, I can get another monster with the coins I've earned. Now, I will admit, it did suck to play as a human when I last stopped by. I do know humans just got essentially overhauled though, and I've heard good things, but the main issue for some in that game will probably always be that playing as a human is boring, which is why you can pay to increase your chance of being the monster, cutting the line. I have never done that as far as I'm aware, but it's something to bring up when talking about ways games can get money out of people. Don't like playing as a human? Pay some Robux and cut the line. Now, you are very heavily incentivized to play as a human due to missing out on so many coins if you don't. But if you're paying to up your chances, then you'd probably also pay for coins. PC2 is definitely not a big offender, but it does this mostly because Roblox incentivizes it. Roblox wants money. You put multiple Robux-based things in your game like coins, monster chants, or I think some skins in this case, though don't quote me on that last part, and Roblox will actively push your game under top earning. There are games that use Robux to help further improve their game, and that's fine. PC2 seems like one of those games as it gets constant updates and the community is always in the know. The devs truly appreciate their fans and reinvest into the game, or at least that's what I believe. However, Roblox not only gets money from buying Robux, but they get part of the profit from spent Robux. Instead of coming after worse offenders who unapologetically shove microtransactions in your face, Roblox pushes them all for the sake of profit. And that inevitably brings us back to Premium. Not only is it a subscription service that gives you more things to buy, but it does something else that I haven't touched on. And it's the drive for game devs to partake in the cycle Roblox has created. So, Roblox Premium gives you premium benefits within experiences. That's part of how they attract kids to Premium. You want more cool cosmetics for your avatar? We got loads of extra stuff. Not a fan of cosmetics? Well, we got games that make things specifically for Premium players. Now Timmy sees this and wants to get access to the special level in his favorite game and asks his mommy to buy him Premium for $5 a month, which is cheaper than Netflix, so she might just do it. Now that Timmy has Premium, he joins his favorite game and finds the teleporter to the special level, yay! Expecting something awesome and cool, he's actually surprised when he finds out it's an AFK farm. But thanks to having Premium, Timmy can get all the best items quicker in the AFK farm than if he grinded it out by playing. So he just lets it run and plays Super Mario or Clash Royale or whatever you kids play these days. What Timmy doesn't know though, because he is not told this, is that by sitting in this AFK farm, he is actively giving money to the devs of the game as well as Roblox due to a thing called premium payouts. In return for this though, Timmy gets access to all the best stuff without playing the game and quickly grows bored, ruining his favorite game while Roblox walks away, fat and happy. Now that may not sound bad to some, but here's where things get worse. Again, Roblox pushes the top earning games and actively invites and supports a money-first environment for games. Essentially, devs, whether they be single people or a small group of people, they can see what makes the most money thanks to Roblox and copy-paste that. AFK farms are some of the biggest things. However, so are gambling games like Souls RNG. Souls RNG quite literally promotes spending Robux in an attempt to get the best stuff. It's child gambling. Roblox doesn't care, however, because it makes them shit tons of money. I see games in the top earning with few game passes and high player counts. To me, this is either due to in-app purchases or premium payouts in one way or another. They earn a lot due to premium payouts and high player counts, or they earn a lot due to people spending loads on currency or skin crates, which again is child gambling in most cases. However, Roblox has been actively working to shift to an all-inclusive site, meaning 18 and older are now being factored into the demographic of what to allow. That, in turn, makes this situation similar to Overwatch loot boxes, and what are considered, and I quote, surprise mechanics. You want something real specific like a certain skin? Well, too damn bad, because it's a random chance. So go and get your mom's credit card and either buy some more Robux or save up all your premium Robux. Point is though that as older people come in, Roblox shifts away from being for kids and becomes for kids and grown-ups alike, minus the fantasy and fun. Now will this save them? Hell if I know, but it clearly hasn't stopped them. Roblox once stood for powering imagination. Today though, all it empowers is people looking to profit off of kids by putting in half to a quarter of the effort that others are willing to put in. There's no longer an incentive to be imaginative and make something new for people to enjoy, and the greedy landscape Roblox has become, it just doesn't work. Now, people are incentivized to peddle out as much microtransactions or premium-only content as possible, copying other games on the platform, other games outside the platform with less effort, or just general low-effort slop. Roblox is no longer just one person or a small group of friends making games together in their spare time because it's what they love. Now more than ever before, it's teams coming together to find out how to get as much money as possible out of mostly gullible children who are easily willing to pay or beg their parents to pay. No matter how many people may know this though, it does not stop the fact that Roblox is a powerhouse of a platform, and will likely never end. While I'd like to end on a light note, talk about a light at the end of the tunnel or how there's greener pastures or whatever, there is no light in this tunnel. No matter how far you go, there will never be light. Because that's the tunnel that Roblox built.